X-Men Apocalypse is directed by Bryan Singer and stars Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy, Oscar Isaac and Jennifer Lawrence. Apocalypse, the first mutant and somewhat demigod, has risen. He is looking for a new Four Horsemen and wants to cleanse the world, essentially, and rebuild it in his own vision. And fairly obviously, he must be stopped. Now, this film is decent, but it could have and should have been so much more. I'm going to start with the acting because it is both the best and the worst thing in the film. James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender are great, as usual, quite frankly, especially Fassbender. Fassbender is such a good actor, and this is absolutely no different. As usual, it's a great performance from Michael Fassbender. Oscar Isaac is also a brilliant actor. The problem is he is fighting against so much in this film. Quite apart from anything, he's fighting against about the 3 tons of makeup they've caked him in. But also, Apocalypse is a very one-note, one-dimensional villain. He's disappointing in that way, and as good as Oscar Isaac is, he is fighting against a lot in this film. So we have 3 great actors in this film, even if one of them is struggling somewhat against his environment. Then we have Sophie Turner. She isn't the worst thing in this film because Olivia Munn is in this film. Olivia Munn is very attractive, and whoever designed that costume, thank you very much. But she is an appalling actress who can't even really pull off the standing still, looking intimidating thing, which is a bit of a problem when, as part of the Four Horsemen, that's pretty much all she actually has to do. Because apart from Fassbender, combined, the Four Horsemen get about 10 lines in the entire film. So Sophie Turner isn't the worst thing in the film, but she's bloody close. It actually annoys me that because of Game of Thrones, pretty much single-handedly because of the success of Game of Thrones, she's going to get a lot more roles that she doesn't deserve because she is not a good actress at all. And now we've got her as Jean Grey. Sophie Turner. Sophie Turner. Fucking awesome. When Famke Janssen is better at portraying a character than you are, you've got some serious issues as far as I'm concerned. There are some good things here. I'm not going to completely destroy the film. Quicksilver and Nightcrawler were both brilliant. I really enjoyed both characters. But apart from Magneto, because of Fassbender, no one else really leaves any sort of impression apart from Quicksilver and Nightcrawler. Even Mystique, who is, let's face it, a stalwart of these films now, she has nothing to do in this film at all. The action is fun, as you would expect, frankly, especially given it is mutant on mutant as it is most of the time, and that's always good fun to see. And honestly, the original Four Horsemen, they're only in it really briefly, Apocalypse's original Four Horsemen, but I really enjoyed them. I actually enjoyed them more than the new Four Horsemen, which perhaps isn't such a good thing. Other than that, this film had a very predictable plot. Everything you think is going to happen does happen. You can see everything coming from a mile off. That's going to happen, that's going to happen, that's going to happen to him, that's going to happen to her, that's going to happen. And it does, without failure. Everything you think is going to happen at every point, it just does. The other thing that I must have really surprised me was the fact that the CGI in this film is crap. It looks like CGI from sort of 10 or 15 years ago. It looks incredibly fake at times, and generally fake all of the time. It even threatened to ruin Quicksilver's scene. Quicksilver has yet another scene, as it were, and it's the best scene in the film, in my opinion. It really does well balance action and humour. But once again, in that scene, the CGI at times looks absolutely terrible. There's no way CGI should look this bad in a blockbuster from 2016. That's just completely unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. I can't help but feel a bit disappointed about Apocalypse. I said it was decent, and it is. It's a bit of fun, but I expect more from X-Men films, especially the newer X-Men films, and this one is just not in the same league as First Class or Days of Future Past, and that makes it disappointing. I'll go into more detail in the spoiler section, but if you don't want to see that, then thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Otherwise, I'll see you in a couple of moments in the spoiler section. Welcome to the spoiler section. Now, there's only a couple of things I actually want to go over in this because I covered most things I wanted to in the main review. But there are a couple of small things. Most of them I just found a little bit amusing, to be honest. But the first one wasn't amusing, and it was the death of Magneto's wife and child. And it again showed the quality of Michael Fassbender as an actor, because you could see it coming from a million miles away. As soon as they introduced the fact that Magneto had a family, you just went, they're dead then. Literally, they're dead. They have no chance of survival. Because Magneto, we know, is going to become a member of Apocalypse's Four Horsemen, they have to die. There's no other way this is going to happen. They have to die. But it speaks so much to his quality that even though you knew it was going to happen, he still made you feel the gravity of the moment with his performance, and that he deserves so much credit for. The thing that amused me more in the film is the fact that, and it speaks to Apocalypse's, again, his one-note, one-dimensional character in this film, is the fact that when Apocalypse does rise, he says, I want to find the strongest mutants to become my four horsemen. Why the hell then does he literally pick the first four mutants he meets? Seriously, it is literally the first four he meets. And let's face it here, in the final fight, Psylocke and Angel are crap. Total shit. Why didn't he just take his time a bit? You've got plenty of time, mate. You're a demigod, for Christ's sake. You have almost infinite power. Why not just take your time a little bit and find legitimately the strongest mutants you can? That was just basically a little bit stupid. Mind you, Apocalypse the whole way through kind of was a little bit stupid. I mean, are we seriously saying that Charles Xavier is literally, well, we know for a fact he's not the bloody only psychic mutant. He's not the only one with telepathy. So, given that Apocalypse knows that that is what he needs, that is the one thing he needs, why didn't he just take his time a bit more and bloody find a mutant with psychic abilities? That would have made a lot more sense. Would have made a shorter film, but it would have made a hell of a lot more sense. The final thing was the bloody Wolverine cameo. I actually thought this was going to be a unique film. Genuinely, I thought this was going to be the first film without Wolverine in it. Instead, as soon as they went into that room with the sort of caged up, locked or however you want to call it, with the animal inside, you instantly knew it's Wolverine then. We're getting a Wolverine cameo, good fun. Wolverine cameos in 12A films I still don't think work that well, because you can't show all of what he's doing. You have to cover it in some way. And it was really crowbarred in, it was really shoehorned, which I wasn't a big fan of. I like Wolverine as much as the next guy, but you can have an X-Men film without Wolverine in for a start. And if you're going to have him in, don't shoehorn him like that. That's what I didn't like about it. It was properly crowbarred in there, and it didn't fit, and that's what I didn't like about it. That's about all I wanted to cover in the spoiler section, mainly because, as I said in the main review, the plot for the film was really predictable. Everything, you could see everything coming from a million miles away, and that's what disappointed me with it. You could see, surprise, surprise, Magneto turns against Apocalypse. Surprise, surprise, Storm turns against Apocalypse. That, by the way, again, was a bit stupid, just because she turns against Apocalypse because he's choking out and is about to kill Mystique, and Mystique is her idol. Fair enough. His literal plan, and you knew this from the start, was to wipe out the entire planet, and yet you had no problem with that. That seems a bit odd to me. Yes, he's going to kill your idol, I understand that, but he was going to kill everyone apart from mutants, billions of people, and you had no problem with that? That just seems a bit dumb, honestly. But again, there were plenty of dumb things in the film, unfortunately. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.